Hey there, Chris Bayless here from the Sponsorship Collective. This video is all about the most common and most expensive festival and event sponsorship mistakes. Check it out. One of my favorite books is a book called The Road Less Stupid by Keith Cunningham. And the premise and idea behind the book is that if you can avoid making expensive mistakes, that is a quicker path to wealth and success than always making high risk, high value decisions. Now, before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button now and click the bell icon. We put out videos every week all about sponsorship best practices, and you don't want to miss another update. If you're not new to the channel and you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Take a minute now, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon. When people subscribe, it lets me know that they want me to keep making videos, and it's the best thing you could possibly do to let me know somebody is out there watching and learning from all of my mistakes. So let's jump right into it. Biggest mistake that I see out there, mistake number one, is not connecting with the decision maker. And here's what it looks like. You spend weeks, months putting together a sponsorship package, completely making up what gold, silver, bronze levels you should have. Then you spend some time researching all of the companies that you think have a lot of money. And so then you just e-blast them all the sponsorship package that they never asked for. That's what not connecting to the decision maker looks like. Now, I know what you're going to say. It's really hard to connect to the decision maker. That's right. They are not going to make themselves available to you as the salesperson. You, as the sponsorship salesperson, have 100% accountability for finding them and connecting to them. No, there's no magic database of decision makers. No, there's no person who just happens to know every sponsor on earth, no matter what they promise you. No, there's no database of direct phone numbers where you can just call the quote sponsor. What we have to do is good old-fashioned prospect research. You want to find people in the marketing department, sales department, experiential marketing, brand, product, business owners. And you want to connect with them directly, whether that's in person, by phone, or through a short email asking them for a conversation, not sending them sponsorship packages. Something that really fascinates me in the festival and event space is this dislike of the so-called smaller sponsors. The world is a big place. The economy is complex. Who you think is small, they're not necessarily small. And they certainly don't have a small marketing budget. I know personally some businesses that have 2 or 3 employees total, and yet they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on marketing. They're very successful, high profit margins, but they don't match the traditional Fortune 500 definition of a business. And so people skip the smaller sponsors. They skip people they perceive as being smaller, but then they also don't treat with respect those that come in at the $500, $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 level. It's up to you what is a small sponsor. But the point is that these small sponsors who are giving you some money, those are the highest likelihood of moving up through the sales ladder and turning them into your bigger sponsors. I see it all the time. Festivals and events reaching out to giant companies asking for $1 million sponsorships while they ignore the people who are ready and willing or have given them $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in sponsorship over the last couple of years. Big mistake. It's costing you money. I've already alluded to this, but probably the most common mistake is thinking that anyone even wants to see your sponsorship package. Well, aside from your competitors, obviously. They can't wait to see your sponsorship package. But if a brand didn't explicitly ask you for a proposal after a discovery call, you shouldn't be sending it to them. And that definitely shouldn't be your first introduction to a brand. I mean, imagine you go down to the car lot to test drive a car, and the salesperson just hands you a catalog and says, just read this instead and let me know when you're ready to buy. You would walk out and probably never speak to them again. Don't spam companies with your sponsorship package. Instead, build real relationships with people, find out what they want, and create custom packages just for them based on their marketing goals. Just because somebody says no thank you doesn't mean that they never want to hear from you again. Unless, of course, they tell you they don't ever want to hear from you again. I'm not saying you should sign people up for your email newsletter if they haven't asked you explicitly to do so. I'm not suggesting you ignore and avoid your local anti-spam and privacy laws. What I am saying is that just because somebody said, no, I'm not interested in sponsoring your festival or event right now, doesn't mean that you should never speak to them again. Get some feedback from them. Find out why. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe there are people in their network that they think would be a better fit. Maybe they're thinking in a year or two of expanding in a new market, and that new market would fit your audience perfectly. The key here is to be professional and respectful to people so that they can just tell you the honest truth about why they don't want to work with you. And once they've done that, you can maintain and build their relationship, or maybe introduce them to somebody else who can help them achieve their goals. This is a relationship game. Something I hear from our clients a lot when they first start working with us is, how do I come up with activation ideas? It's really hard. Well, the answer is you don't. What you do is sit down with your sponsors and brainstorm with them cool activation ideas for your event. You want to come up with them something that's valuable. Sure, you want to have a couple of examples in your business case when the time comes to present something to them, but this is really only to get the conversation going. Your sponsors know far better than you how they get customers. So make sure that you schedule a brainstorming session with your potential sponsors to come up with really good activations that deliver on exactly what your sponsor wants. It's way more fun and way less stressful when you are working with your sponsors to come up with activations versus trying to guess at what works. This is a really common mistake that I see people make. They close the sponsorship deal, they get the contract signed, they get the check, and then they just ignore their sponsors and stop talking to them. Instead, you want to create a communication schedule so that you're keeping your sponsors up to date regularly, letting them know exactly where you're at with your event, how registration is going, media opportunities, and any other way that you can over-deliver on your sponsorship offer. And after your event wraps, ignoring your sponsor for 9 months, 10 months, until you need more money and then sending them a proposal is a terrible idea. Even after your event, even after your festival, you want to keep communicating with your sponsors, seeing how you can offer them value and keep that relationship fresh. What are your biggest takeaways from this video? I'd love it if you got value from this. If you could drop down below in the comments, the number one takeaway, the thing that you're going to change, the thing that you're going to add to the way that you seek sponsorship. And if you have a festival or an event, drop down below your biggest tip on how you keep your sponsors happy. And remember, the sponsorship proposal does not make the sale. You do. Good luck out there.